Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and of Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Hope you all are having just a good old day. Ah, goodness. And yes, it is that kind of night. Just so you guys know, I might cough. So I live in the Pacific Northwest, and just real quick, and I'll get back to my regularly scheduled programming. And the jet stream has altered its course, and so a lot of that smoke from California and Oregon and Washington and all those fires is, drifting this way. And we went from, just a really, awesome, clear sky yesterday. It was beautiful yesterday. To visibility's down to about, 5 city blocks. So, yeah, good times. And I know we don't have any fires locally, but I sure can smell the smoke, and I wouldn't be surprised if that ash was just falling. So, yeah, it's just, thoughts, prayers, rain dance, whatever it is y'all do, to get some rain into those areas that need some help putting out some fires. Yep, I think we could do that. So, yeah. It is just another 2020 adventure, I'm telling you. So, being broadcast live tonight, of course, on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And we're also in on YouTube World, so if you are there in YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. The bell if you want to be alerted as to when I'm going live or posting a new video, that'd be great. And no matter how you are hearing me, make sure you stop in and say hello, either in one of the chat rooms or send me an email at wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY @gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, please do so. You can do that at patreon.com/thespacesbetween. Or you can also go to the etsy.com/shop/Monarch Mountain Studio with MTN for mountain. And kind of just like I do every night, check out iLife.com. That's www.iLife.com. iLife is the official sponsor of Truth Frequency Radio, and just a really awesome product to help keep your system in balance. And then blends the best of the ayahuasca, the non-visionary part, with the CBD. And yeah, it's good for you. The phone lines are open tonight, so you can go to, if you want to share your thoughts or opinions, go ahead and give me a holler. It's 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it's 44203-393-2871. And chat rooms are just heating up. I can see that already. I got Lucky, and Bomber, Cameron, Lewis, Mary Bond, Nessie, Sonia, Pharmacy, hey Carlton, YTFP Chris, lucky if I didn't say you're there, Aussie Tiger, Justin, Good Earth, Cameron, YTFP Chris, Lewis, if I missed you, I'm sorry, holler at me later, Nessie, hi Nessie, so, Lucky's got split personality and she's 2 places at one time, so yeah, yeah, life, I tell you, it is just about the time you think everything's going hunky-dory, you're like, yeah, left, turn it Albuquerque, or just, sideways, whatever. So yeah, rain dance, absolutely do it. Okay, so another weird thing. The high today was supposed to be 85. The low, I think, is 47 because we have all the smoke. The sun wasn't as bright, so we only got up, I think, in the upper 70s. And I'm cold. I have a heater on, which is insane to me because it's September. My maple trees and my oak tree and my birch trees and my quaking aspen and all of them are starting to turn already. Normally we have about 3 more weeks before they really start to turn to this point. So yeah, we're about 3 weeks ahead of schedule, roughly, as far as weather goes, which is interesting to me and just, tells me, yes, it is yet one more thing for 2020. Hey, eclectic clarity. I do believe we will have an early winter. And yeah, good times. Good times. So, last week on Saturday, we started talking about the chakras. We started at the very root of the matter. We started with the root chakra. The next one up the scale is the sacral chakra, or the second chakra. Now, the sacral chakra is associated with the emotional body, sensuality, and creativity. It is characterized by flow and flexibility, and is directed by the very principles of pleasure. So, if you want to know where it is, find your belly button, and about 3 inches or 3 fingers down below your belly button, at the center of your lower belly, or in the back, it's right at the level of your lumbar vertebrae. And for me, this is the chakra that I have so many problems with. Because of my back issues, I tend to get a snarl of energy, just kind of gets blocked up here, and then my whole back flares up, and it's bust out the cane time. Yeah. Bust out the cane. It's an ugly old cane. So it's not like it's the stylish new one, but it's not a fashion statement, it's a tool. But, I've been threatened by a friend of mine threatened to bling it out just so that it wouldn't look quite so, old person-y, because I'm just not that old yet, really. Not really. Let's see. Now, the sacral chakra can expand its location into your genitals, especially where the ovaries are, or the testes for men, or testicles. And it is associated with your lymphatic system. So a healthy sacral chakra, really good for your lymphs. It's because your lymph system, that's a big deal for staying healthy. And I don't know if I'm actually sick or if I'm just dealing with the smoke, because I can really feel it in my throat. And I get that way in the fall anyways, but also with the smoke, so blah. So, the sacral chakra is associated with some psychological and behavioral functions, things like emotions and feelings, relationships and relating to others, expressions of sexuality, and sensual pleasure. And it is, associated with those reproductive organs, of course. Feeling the outer and inner worlds, creativities, and fantasies. And believe it or not, fantasies are pretty essential to good mental health. So the sacral chakra being associated with your emotions, and it's the center of your feelings, and your desires when it comes to your sexuality, your sexual desires, and your sensual desires, which are not always the same as your sexuality, just so you know. They're 2 different things. Now, let's see. I hate when things skip around as I'm trying to read. With your sacral chakra, because it is motivated by pleasure, it's your driving force for enjoying life through the senses, whether it's through auditory or hearing, through taste, touch, sight, smell. And once your sacral chakra is open, it allows you to feel the world a bit more. You're more aware of the world and in the world around you. And it's a really big deal for good health and well-being. It's very instrumental in having flexibility in your life and being able to just roll with the punches. Your sacral chakra is associated with the water element. And it's characterized by movement and flow in your emotions, or our emotions and thoughts. Just think of like the tidal waves, or the waves, ocean waves, your ebb and flow. And it supports personal expansion and the formation of identity through relating to others. Identifying through identity and through relating to others out in the world. Oh, goodness. I bumped something here. There we go. Sneeze. Oh, my stars. So, when your sacral chakra is balanced, the relationship, or your relationship with the world and other people, is generally centered around nurturing, pleasure, and it's a harmonious exchange. But an imbalance can be manifested as, dependency, codependency, with other people or substances that might grant you an easy access to pleasure. So, being ruled by your emotions. And it can also make you feel a bit numb and out of touch with yourself and how you feel. Probably you're not looking at yourself. You're just kind of riding the wave a little bit. You may be a little overindulgent in fantasies or sexual obsessions. Or you may just straight up lack a sexual desire, and you may be very, very dissatisfied in your sexual relationships. And you can just feel stuck in a particular feeling or mood or emotion. And it's just not pleasant, guys. So the sacral chakra, or second chakra, is Svadhisthana, which means your own place, or the Shadala. It's commonly represented with the color orange. Now, since it is associated with the element of water, it can also take on a light blue color or white in some situations, but generally it's orange, and it's probably going to be more translucent and very transparent in color and quality. It's the symbol is a circle with 6 petals and a crescent moon. If you're on YouTube, you should see an image of the 6-petaled lotus flower with a crescent moon. Now, the circle generally is representative of the elements of water. So the moon, being crescent and colored in silver, symbolizes or represents the connection of energy to the moon and water. So those symbols point to a very close relationship between the phases of the moon and the fluctuations of water and emotions. So ebb and flow, the tide. You're going to maybe feel the transitions a little bit more. And with the moon relating, or being commonly associated with the feminine menstrual cycle, which generally takes 7 days about to complete the full cycle. That's a different story some with other people. This person, it's vexing at times. And it's just it takes about the same number of days to complete and the connection of the sacral chakra with sexual organs and reproduction. So that whole, you're cyclical. You may not feel as connected during certain times just because, it is a cycle. You're just turning on that wheel periodically. Let's see. I will have a link, just like I did last week, to the page where I got the information, just because it's important. Let's see here. I'm just kind of going through, making sure I got everything on here. So when your chakra, I'm going to talk about a blocked chakra, or for the sacral chakra, and maybe an overactive chakra, because those do happen. Unfortunately, which is, vexing. Let's see, what's this? Some healing steps, and just so we're gonna start how to open your chakra. Let's start there because that's a good spot, and then we'll circle back and talk about some of those other things as I resize my screen so I can see what I'm doing. Because yes, so yeah, a lot of us, we have a hard time expressing our emotions and our desires with others or to others. Maybe we feel a little insecure, or some people may feel disconnected with their sexuality, or may have just a low libido. There are some physical reasons for that, medical reasons, and you may need to see a doctor for that. By all means, you should get that checked out if you need to. But, sometimes, a little bit of therapy and working with your chakras is exactly what you need. If you do have problems with, compulsive behaviors, for example, you may need a little bit of therapy just to make sure you're guided into the right direction to modify those behaviors. Now, if you are feeling like that low libido, not able to express yourself, maybe sexually frigid, if that's something someone has said to you, or are you very, very emotionally reactive and surround yourself with drama, or it feels like you're surrounded by drama, because that does happen. And if you are struggling with some compulsive behaviors, you may have a very unbalanced sacral chakra. And when out of balance, your mood swings are gonna happen. Why didn't you get a sandwich? So let's see. To sexually frigid, yes, Carlton, those are words that have been spoken, maybe not to you. You can to open the sacral chakra, you'd want to you can burn svadhisthana incense or essential oils. And the aromatherapy can help with healing properties that will help restore your feelings of sensuality and creativity. And you may want to burn cleansing aromas like cardamom, eucalyptus, chamomile, spearmint, patchouli, ylang ylang, rose, or clary sage. Now, if you have sensitivities to any of these smells, you need to be aware. Don't use them. Find an alternative. Also, touch base with your intuition is going to help guide you here. And do some positive affirmations, whether that means you write things with a dry erase marker on your mirror or your refrigerator, depending on your fridge, microwave door, whatever it is. So you're seeing those positive affirmations, to make sure that you are seeing just the positive in life. Because if all you're seeing is negative, it makes it really hard to, keep yourself in that positive place that you need to be. And repeat those positive affirmations aloud in your head or write them down. I know someone who, he had a goal board or goal poster for the year, and different things that he wanted to achieve in 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years. He had them kind of lined out, and he had pictures of them. And he did just the big poster and then took a picture of it and shrunk it down. So it was like a 5x7 image. And he literally taped it to the airbag spot on his steering wheel so that when he was commuting back and forth to work, he could read those, especially he was in a highly populated community, so he was often stuck in traffic. And he could just read those to himself on, again and again as like a mantra to really focus on those goals. If you need some examples for positive affirmations, you say something like, I deserve to experience pleasure and have my needs met, which is something that people just often don't have. I feel safe to express myself in fun, creative, and healthy ways. I attract relationships with loving, good people who will support me. Let's see. I embrace change and make the best of my future. That one's hard because change is hard. Because it's not comfortable. We're stepping out of our comfort zone and the things that we are used to, and we're searching for something new. But, change helps us grow. Every day I experience more joy and satisfaction. Like yesterday, I was talking about, what you see or looking for in the world. That's what you're going to see and experience. And I've mentioned it on more than one occasion. I'll probably mention it again and again. If you are looking for ways to find joy in the world, or find things to be thankful about, Carlton, yes, then that's what you're going to see more of. More things to be thankful for. Or see more reasons to find joy and satisfaction with what you're doing. Now, a lot of people I know, we end up with jobs that we have to do because we have bills to pay, we have responsibilities, and we just have stuff we have to take care of. And so it's often not very satisfactory to have one of those jobs where it's a job. It's not a career. It's not what you wanted to do for the rest of your life. But you know what? It keeps the rent paid, so you have a roof over your head, keeps the groceries in your fridge, gas in the car, internet, phone, whatever your creature comforts are that you need, your essentials. You need to find the satisfaction in that. Find some way to have joy in that situation because your needs are being met. Often, once you've accepted that, that job that you don't necessarily like is meeting your needs, you can find satisfaction in it. And you may not find the joy in it, which I totally get. I've been there. Maybe it's time to pick up a hobby to help you, to help you find that joy and experience that joy. So it's not necessarily work related; it's more of a hobby related. And I know a lot of people who have done that, and they spend more and more time with that hobby until it becomes the job, and the job that they had originally goes away. So they find that joy and satisfaction then in the hobby that's turned into a career or a job or a way of making sure the bills are paid. So even though you're not satisfied or happy with where you're at 100%, you need to find some way to be glad about it. That way you can grow and make sure you're finding that satisfaction to grow into your joy. I flow with inspiration and creativity. The This one's often kind of hard for me because I love being creative, but then, and it's the initial burst of creativity that I love, but the follow through for me sometimes is quite difficult. I see it with doing the show, for instance. This is a big creativity project. And yeah, there are times I'm just like, what am I going to do? Why am I doing this? Because, the honeymoon period is over and now there's the work. So if you can find a way to flow with that inspiration and creativity, you know what? You'll find more joy and satisfaction in what you're doing. And the next one is my body is vibrant and I'm comfortable inside it. Wow, talk about something that mainstream media is absolutely against. They don't want us to be comfortable in our bodies as they are. At all. I'll come back to this one after the break because, hey, guess what? It's already the first break. Can you believe that? We were just screaming by tonight. If you do have show ideas or you have questions, send me the email at wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. And I'm going to have another cough drop and some water, and I'll talk to you guys right after the break. So, yeah. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. We're talking about the Sacral Chakra tonight. Last week we started with the Root Chakra, and if you're picking up this video later down the road on YouTube, I will include a link to the other discussions, and I'll go back and forth and do that a couple of times to make sure they are all linked together, because it just kind of makes sense. So just before the break, we were talking about positive affirmations and things that you can say to yourself. And the last one was, my body is vibrant and I'm comfortable inside of it. And yeah, mainstream media, Hollywood, pharmaceuticals, pretty much anybody who has a commercial on TV anymore, it seems like, or a product to sell, they're preying on our insecurities when it comes to our physical appearance or our emotional stability or anything like that. And so when we're trying to be comfortable and accept ourselves as we are, the rest of the world, our society, at least here in the US, is saying, no, you shouldn't, you're not good enough. No, you need this potion, you need that lotion, you need this special type of foundation clothing, or this lotion to put on your face to get rid of the wrinkles and fine lines, or do this to get rid of your gray hair, or any one of those things, or a combination of all of them, instead of listening to those commercials that cause us to have greater insecurities. Just find ways to accept yourself, and learn to be comfortable within yourself. That doesn't mean, if you're overweight, you should just accept it and not try to lose weight. No, just accept you for you. And if you want to work on yourself, that's up to you. Not because society says that, you're a size 12 and that's a plus size, which it's not, by the way. That's pretty normal. So just, work on your body and your vision of your body, and learn to be comfortable within yourself. There are some postures that you can use that help stabilize your sacral chakra. So these particular yoga postures are called asanas, and they can help you reconnect the physical with the spiritual. So have you using mindful breathing, counting your breaths, inhales and exhales, can help release the tensions within your body. And so the poses like the bound angle, the squat, the goddess, or the happy baby help balance the sacral chakra. Now, the sacral chakra does have that affinity to the water element, and which is very reflective of our ability to flow with changes. So if you're feeling like you're stuck and very changed, adverse, which, a lot of us are, reconnect with water by, spending some time in the water. Go for a swim. Go to the ocean or the lake or the river or the creek or whatever it is. Go, have, some relaxing time with flowing water. So there's Watsu, which is a form of therapy, which a person is gently held and guided in the water. It's like flowing water across you, so it's just a therapeutic thing. Can also be a very powerful ritual for sacral healing. So if that's something you need, be aware of it. Talk to maybe your spiritual leaders that are closer to you. They can help you go through a Watsu type cleansing water bath. Yes. Now, I do know that, like, here in the Northern Hemisphere, the summer is starting to wind down, getting a little cooler. Going into the water is not quite as much fun as it was, say, 3 weeks ago. And then in the southern hemisphere, you guys are moving towards, summer and out of winter, so the water will be warming up, maybe go to the hot springs. I know that we have hot springs here within, I think, a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive. Totally worth going to and experiencing. And if you don't have access to that, just go take a shower. Set your intention before taking the shower and having that water run across you. So there's just some ways to open your sacral chakra, which is really important to, letting yourself go with the flow and be, able to just not be change adverse, because change is important. Change can be quite healing. It can be traumatic, but it's healing. Excuse me. Now, that's talking about opening the chakra. Now, what happens if you think you may have a blocked sacral chakra? Because that does happen. And if your sacral chakra is out of balance, you're going to be feeling some, like I mentioned earlier, fear, depression, manic or emotional instability. You may feel overwhelmed. You may be, if you're a creative person generally, maybe you're experiencing writer's block, maybe some sexual dysfunction, reproductive issues, maybe even addictions of some sort. Excuse me. You may have physical symptoms like pain or stiffness, sciatica, low back pain, pain in your hips. Maybe you have urinary or kidney problems, pelvic pain, or even constipation. Those are real examples of physical manifestations of a blocked chakra, the sacral chakra specifically. And so if you're experiencing those things, yes, seek medical attention if that's what you need. But it may be just some sacral chakra work is what you need too. So once you discover that, hey, maybe it is an issue and it is blocked because you've been to the doctor, nothing, your urinary tract is fine, you don't have any back issues, you're just in a funk and just not working, what's going on, maybe it's time to focus on healing your sacral chakra. So acknowledge that your sacral chakra needs some love. And acknowledge that your physical and your energetic body needs some support. And it can come from Reiki, whether you're going to a professional practitioner or yourself, or some other healing or energy healing that's important. Now, don't just, watch a couple YouTube videos and figure, hey, I'm an expert at this. Do your research before you do any of these things to make sure that you're really making the right choices when it comes to healing your sacral chakra. But very first, connect with water. I've mentioned it once already. I'll probably mention it 2 or 3 more times. Connect with water, because water is just very cleansing in general. Seriously, just in general. And anytime you have a chance to nourish your body with water, whether you add some Epsom salts or essential oils or other things to your bath water for a soak, or just drinking a lot of good water with, a cucumber in it or lemon. Lemon's very good. Or just, frozen fruit in your water to, have that good energy to it. Drink lots of water. Cleanse that chakra. Good old-fashioned soap and water goes a long way. But just take a warm bath. Put maybe orange essential oils in it. I love orange. Or, if you are in a place where you can go swimming in a natural body of water, that'll really help with your sacral chakra. Eat good foods. If your chakra feels a little bit out of whack, maybe you need to look at the foods that you're eating. Because how often do we eat crap just because we're out of time and in a hurry and we need something? Sometimes something is not better than nothing. So stop and think about it. Make sure you're including nuts, seeds, sweet potatoes, carrots, melons, mangoes, pumpkins, orange, citrus fruits, butternut squash, fermented foods. Lactofermentation is a big deal and very good for you. Orange colored foods are very, very much oriented or to the sacral chakra. And if you don't know how to cook any of those things, it's a great opportunity to, expand your ability to grow things, or to cook with them. YouTube it, research, take a cooking class. How do you cook these things so that you will like them? Because, if all you've ever had is sweet potato pie and that's not really your thing when it comes to sweet potatoes, because it's too sweet, which for me, I don't like it. It's way too sweet. Find some other ways to cook your sweet potatoes. You can have it baked. Make it a savory thing instead of a sweet thing. I personally love sweet potato french fries. Oh, my stars. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yum. Maybe you don't like carrots. Try roasting them. Caramelize them. You can make a caramelized carrot soup, which is very, very good. Butternut squash, you can have it as a creamed soup. It could be chilled. It could be warm. There's so many things you could do with those different things. So different fruits and vegetables. But you just kind of have to do some trial and error practice and look for some good recipes. There's all sorts of things online. Use it as a search. How do I cut open a mango? What can I use mango for? You can totally cheat, buy it frozen, throw it in a smoothie. Yes, pumpkin. A lot of people just assume pumpkin is for pumpkin pie. I will often get organic pumpkins from a farmer locally with Mini-Me. We'll go pick up pumpkins. And we'll carve a couple of them up because, sure, it's fun. The other ones, I will section them up, sprinkle some sea salt and pepper on them and throw them in the oven and bake them. And I will that's all I'll have for dinner is baked pumpkin. But it's savory rather than sweet. Because you really don't necessarily need all those added sugars to pumpkin because, you know what, it's already pretty sweet. Especially some of those varieties are even sweeter than others. So creativity is often very much associated with your sacral chakra. And if you're having a hard time connecting with your artistic side, step outside of your comfort zone a little bit and do something that'll help you find that creativity. Maybe, take a painting class. There's all these paint and sips that we have here, I know. They've got to be other places because Idaho is not unique in that respect. You don't have to drink wine, drink coffee or tea, or tea and paint or whatever it is, follow along to, reopen that that creativity that you have within you. Or maybe it's a beading class or, a decorative breads class or something like that, whatever it is, find some other way to challenge yourself that you've never done before, whether it's with cooking or writing or, short stories or poetry or something like that. Learn something. There's all sorts of things going on online all the time. Or your local community colleges now have online classes that they may not have had before to help get that creativity going. Yeah, beading, not beating. You don't want to beat someone with a stick. You want beads, like glass beads, or wire wrapping. That's kind of a big deal right now. So yeah. And if you're just totally at a roadblock, a mental block and not able to move forward, I'm sure you all have friends, either Facebook, Instagram, in real life, whatever, that are very creative. Say, hey, what are you working on right now? And can you teach me a little bit about what you're doing so I learn more and get, get into the your creativity and your energy and take advantage of it to move forward. You may learn something new, get a new hobby. So you can also do some hip opening movements as far as physical activity. And since your sacral chakra is located below your belly button, any hip opening movements will help that energy flow into that area. They'd be like the butterfly pose, the cobra pose, the seated torso circles, or the goddess pose. Will help that energy flow. Those are yoga poses specifically. You could also take advantage of like a belly dancing class or a salsa dancing, getting the hips flowing or moving. Now, I personally don't have that much wiggle in my middle, so a belly dancing class is really not going to be my thing. But I can be very, it's like, oh my gosh, look at you go. You go. I will cheer from the sidelines. Yay. But, there's all sorts of videos. You can do that kind of thing in the privacy of your own home without an audience or other people watching you. Because, even though, yes, accept yourself, it also doesn't mean you have to put yourself out there to be made fun of. So just, whatever's going to help you be comfortable. Yes. But yeah, sway the music. Do some squats. Join a gym. That physical activity is going to help you open your chakras in general. There is a sacral chakra chant that you can do. And the mantra sound is VAM, V-A-M, VAM. So if you're doing those hip opening poses, or sitting still like in a half lotus or butterfly pose during meditation, just repeat VAM, V-A-M, and to help open that energy. It's a thing. It can help you. Use some healing crystals. If chakra stones are real. So if bring in crystals that are going to help you heal. Let's see. For the sacral chakra, amber, coral, orange calcite, citrine, orange aventurine, carnelian, and hematite are all very, very good to help you open your sacral chakra. And you can lay on your back and place them on your sacral area. Again, that's about 3 inches below your belly button or in your lower back. And if, it'll help you soak up the good vibes of that good energy. And if you're doing or going to a Reiki healer, often they will be using one of those orange stones right in the sacral area to help align your chakras and get them all opened up. So, when it comes to healing your chakras, it really helps to understand your sacral chakra. So, okay, time out real quick. As you're going through any of these chakra healing or understanding or opening, journal what you're doing. Journal your goal, what you're trying to achieve. And then after you've done whatever it is that you're doing, what are the results? Is it what you wanted? Is it more than what you wanted? Is it less than what you wanted? If it's less, what are you going to do differently to move forward? Are you going to combine it with therapy in general? What is it that you're going to do? But journaling it kind of gives you a snapshot of what you're doing in general, so you can look back. So say in 6 months you're like, wow, I don't know what I did a couple months ago, but everything's going right. I'm my ducks are in a row. They're all going in the same direction for once. It's not like herding cats with a broom. And what is it that I did? You can look back at your journal and like, oh, that's what I did. I'm going to keep doing more of that. So journal. Very important. In a way, my YouTube videos here, those are definitely kind of a video journal. I can go back through and see what's going on and what I've done in the past. So it's good. So, yes, understand your sacral chakra and what you're trying and what it is. Why are you trying to heal it? And, cheat sheet. Make sure you've got the color correspondences. Some of the different crystals and stones that might help. Or foods, or yoga poses, or the VAM chant. What is it? Some of the symptoms that you might be experiencing that are, showing that you may have a blocked chakra. If you talk to someone who does energetic healing, you can often get that information. Say, hey, this is what's going on with me. And they say, oh, well, this is how we fix it. So, when you're journaling everything, you can take that right to your doctor and say, hey, this is what's going on. What do I need to do next? In understanding the sacral chakra, which is, just below the belly button, or the coccyx, your tailbone area, the seat of your emotions is where you're sitting on your butt. That's your seat of emotions. Sometimes your very sense of taste will tell you when your sacral chakra is out of place. Did you know that? Or not quite working like it should be. If you have a blockage, you can have physical and emotional distress. And if it's overactive, you can have issues too. So, an overactive sacral chakra, let me say that 10 times real fast. An overactive sacral chakra can lead to emotional overreaction. So if you see someone who just, you're like, wow, they're so dramatic all the time. Everything is, a William Shatner response. Are they really having an emotional overreaction? Or is that just the way they are? Or maybe they need some, sacral chakra healing. Maybe they have an excessive emotional attachment to people or objects. They're very, very needy in their relationships. A lot of anxiety, perhaps. Separation anxiety, that kind of thing. Maybe some codependency, because, that's a real thing. Maybe you're experiencing muscle tension or abdominal cramps. Oof, abdominal cramps are horrible. An energy deficiency in the second chakra can cause you fear of happiness, fear of pleasure, and you suddenly start, self-sabotaging. It's like, you know what, I don't deserve this thing, so I'm just going to do this and that, and it's often subconscious rather than conscious when it comes to self-sabotage. I just can't talk. That energy deficiency can cause a lack of creativity, a lack of authenticity, the low libido, just really major pessimism, depression. You may experience a higher number of UTIs or an irregular menstrual cycle. Now just remember, I'm not a doctor. If you're having significant health issues, go get a checkout by the doctor. Just saying. Hold on. Big bottle of water, I'm not drinking enough of it. So, we are approaching the top of the hour, just so you guys know. The call lines are open, so if you wanted to call, you can. That number again is 213-233-3998, or in the UK it's 44203-393-2871. After the break, we'll probably do the singing bowls just like we generally do, because why not? I will try to remember to turn on the microphone in an appropriate time. You can send me an email at wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY @gmail.com. So yes. Let's see. And I will, again, like I did last week, have links in the show notes talking about, so you know where I'm getting my information, but it's chakras.info, ultimately. Let's see, just checking the chat. I see all are talking about food. Why are you talking about food? Don't talk about food. Naughty people. Naughty, naughty, naughty. But yeah, make sure you are eating good food, good nutrients, and drinking good water. I was listening to an article this morning where they were talking about, use distilled water and to cleanse something. And I was like, wait a minute. Do you really want to use distilled water for cleansing? Yeah, there's not, the energy's not right for it. It just, anyways, we'll talk about distilled water. Maybe we'll do that next Friday. The different water. Yeah, I like that idea. And yes, I know I started to talk about food because food, yeah. Anyways, we're going to break. We'll be right back.
Lord, within the sun, as we will, so mote it be, the spell forever done.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. And it's bell time, or bowl time, I should say. I wish I had a flute. It'd go well. my bowl. I wonder if you can plug that into like an acoustic pickup or something. I have to think about that. So, we are talking about the sacral chakra and healing it, because sometimes, it gets blocked. It happens. Unfortunately, it can. So, a common symptom of the second chakra, or the sacral chakra imbalance, is a tendency to become consumed in fantasies about life's pleasures instead of enjoying them. For instance, you may find that you're getting lost in sexual fantasies rather than connecting with actual or potential partners, or be obsessed with connecting sensually or sexually with every attractive person that you might come into contact with. Maybe you're addicted to romance novels. I don't know. But just be aware. You may be indulging yourself excessively or having addictive behaviors. Because if you're not in the habit of satisfying your desires by keeping your chakra balanced, and instead you're indulging yourself, especially with addictive behaviors, it could be food or substances, TV, or games, that'll prevent you from really having a stable and healthy sacral chakra. And if you're experiencing a lack of fulfillment or insatiable desires, you need to, because that's real, you need to really deeply and honestly appreciate what you have and who you are as part of sacral chakra healing, and delighting yourself in the simple pleasures of life without getting overly attached to them is really important. Very, very important. And pay attention to the satisfaction not only in your mind in a intellectual way, but also as a sensation within the body itself. So the desire and fulfillment are anchored in a fully rounded experience. And this contributes to the satiation and a healthy healing balance. So, let's for food example. We like to eat 100%. But there's so much more to eating a good meal. Maybe it's going to the farmer's market and you're picking out the fresh produce, or your own garden, either way, and then bringing it home. You're cleaning the produce and you're preparing it, and then you're cooking it, and then you're eating it. It's a full rounded experience then. Sorry, my words aren't going together. That's just a broader experience, and fits on your different needs, because you're going out, you're experiencing the world, you're seeing all the fresh vegetables and such, whether in your garden or the farmer's market. I love those farmer's markets, yes, because there's so much there, and then going home and then preparing your meal from those more fuller. Those fresh vegetables or fresh ingredients. Codependent. Holy cow! Codependency. Thank you, Don. It is kind of a big deal when it comes to the sacral chakra. Because if you're healing your sacral chakra, that means bringing your relationships to balance and harmony. Relationships often carry a very strong emotional charge to them and tie to the second chakra very easily. Unfortunately, a lot of family dynamics are the source of your disturbances when it comes to the sacral chakra, just because that the family dynamics, they're hard. And sometimes it means if there's someone just excessively negative or excessively toxic within your family, it is okay to say, you know what? I just can't be around you right now. You're bad for me. It's okay, because they're sucking the life out of you. They're energy vampires, if you will. So you have to make sure that you have to be very discriminatory with who you share your time with and who you share that energy with. Otherwise, they're just going to drain you. those negative people or those negative habits, or bad habits, I should say. Negative and destructive emotions like envy, jealousy, anger, rage are very much a characteristic of an imbalanced second chakra. And they're very detrimental to our feelings of well-being and health, and very disempowering, meaning they don't let us stand up for ourselves very much. You think anger and rage, yeah, you're standing up, woohoo, I'm making a point. But in reality, you're not. You're cutting your nose off to spite your face. Yes, you're falling off your soapbox. So just be aware. If you are having a tendency to overreact when someone challenges you or has a different opinion, or if you go into rage very easily, or are very frustrated easily, pay attention to ways or learn ways to manage your emotions with more awareness and balance. And this one, I think I'm seeing the evidence of a lot of sacral imbalance in our society, at least here in the U.S. lately, as people fly into a rage at the slightest little thing, and I just don't get it. Because those differing opinions, that's not a reason to find rage. That's a reason to have an educated conversation. It's not that hard. Have a conversation. Your physical health and your sacral chakra are closely related. Because from a physical health perspective, healing your second chakra can help heal or prevent more serious problems like infertility or ectopic pregnancies, miscarriages perhaps, prostate and testicular diseases, endometriosis, and ovarian cysts. And I think this has a bit, or comes to mind, I should say, when someone is having like infertility issues in a relationship, like husband and wife, they want to have kids, they've been trying forever and ever and ever, and there's some anxiety and tension there, and they finally get to that point where like, you know what, I'm tired of trying to force this to happen, and let's step back and reevaluate things. And once they relax and allow themselves to heal a bit more, then suddenly they find themselves, expecting a child that they weren't really planning on, because they weren't trying to force it. They weren't trying to shove things through, and instead allowed things to happen naturally. So, techniques to heal your second chakra, your sacral chakra. Meditation is just a really big deal. We should be doing it anyways. Just in general, because it's good for us. But it's very useful for chakra cleansing and healing in general, not just for the sacral chakra. Because it's a way of just being connected with ourself and touching, visualizing a touching base with each of those different chakras during meditation. So when it comes to the sacral chakra, envision an orange lotus or an orange crescent moon in the area of your second chakra, which is down in the pelvis area, and hold that image in your mind for a few minutes while you're breathing deeply. And you can do this with each of the different chakras, starting with your root and go up through the crown. It takes a little bit of practice. And when you first start meditating, especially if you haven't done it before or haven't done it in a while, start small, just a couple minutes, and maybe set, a song, to meditate to, a short song, 90 seconds. And then once you get through there, for like a week, step it up. The next week, 2 songs. The next week, 3 songs. I would slowly work up the duration of your meditation to half an hour. It takes a little bit, and don't rush it, because sometimes it takes a little bit. Life happens. Maybe you're sick. Maybe you've fell down the stairs and you're just too sore to even try to focus on meditating. That happens. It's okay. Remember, the healing foods, like melons, coconuts, orange fruits and vegetables are good for you. Cinnamon is another one of those good things to have with your sacral chakra healing herbs. I like cinnamon, but it's not my favorite. Orange essential oils, again, very, very good. So sandalwood or patchouli, you can use them, rub them on your feet if you have the right qualities, or in a diffuser, or just, there's a variety of ways to have the essential oils in your world. The healing stones, I keep a lot of stones in my pocket just because I like having access to them. I do have stones in my bracelets. I have stones on my necklace sometimes. Just whatever it is, you want to make sure that you have the tools you need to help you heal your sacral chakra and keep it healthy. Not just heal it, but keep it healthy. And, when in doubt, get wet. Take a shower, swim in a lake, swim in the ocean, whatever it is. Let that flowing water just allow the negativity and the clogging of that energy to just flush away. One of the main challenges for healing the sacral chakra is balance. It's really hard to maintain balance because things happen and we get so wrapped up in taking care of A, B, and C that we forget all about D, E, and F. Or B and F and G is great, but we're forgetting 1, 2, 3. So just try to maintain the balance. And sometimes that means slowing down and taking a deep breath. But you want to fully experience what you've got going on, and making sure the energy flow is healthy through your sacral chakra. Don't allow yourself to become obsessive about things. And if you do find yourself going that direction, talk to someone, either a therapist or a spiritual leader or something like that. But yes, it's do your shadow work. Just allow that sacral healing to happen. And those emotional ties with people, whether it's childhood friends that you've just kind of grown out of that are negative, you know what? It may be time to cut that relationship. Maybe it's someone in your family. You don't have to keep toxic people in your life, even if you're related to them. And, when the emotions are not fully expressed, or perhaps expressed indirectly, it shows up as passive-aggressive behaviors. Or perhaps sarcasm. It happens. A lot of us, in growing up and being raised certain ways, we've been educated, indoctrinated maybe is a better word, to feel shame and guilt around pleasure. Maybe it's due to education or contradictory values or traumatic experience or religious oppression. It happens. And repressed sexuality can lead to significant imbalances in your life in general, but specifically in your second chakra, because it'll either shut down and say, nope, we're done, we're not playing this game, or it could become overactive and you have other issues that way. But yeah, your second chakra can shut down due to sexual repression. So whether it's a movement of contraction that's been, again, influenced by the actions of someone in your life, or is, self-imposed, that blockage is real. And, you really do need to heal that second chakra to restore a healthy image of sexuality and pleasure. There's nothing wrong with sex. It's pleasurable. It's fun. It's a good workout, if nothing else. And so much in our society teaches either that sex all the time, or sex is bad and sex is evil. So, just be responsible, but and educate yourself that when it comes to sex, you should have trust of self, trust with your partner, that sex and sensuality is okay. And I know growing up in the Midwest, those are things we just didn't talk about. In discussing things with, family reunions and things, when my aunt got married to her husband, she called my grandmother and she's like, "So we got married, now what?" She had no idea. So have those conversations with your children as they are emotionally ready for it, to, understand what a healthy sexual relationship is, or a healthy sensual relationship is. And if you don't know what it is, it's okay. I do recommend some therapy, read some books, and stop judging yourself for, being appreciative of the human form, regardless if it's masculine or feminine, or whatever your, the way your preference, it doesn't matter. Just be appreciative of the human shape. Somebody can be sexy regardless of what your ultimate attraction is. So just take a deep cleansing breath and allow your sensuality to come out. I know it's hard. I get it. Restore your balance in life's pleasures and enjoy them. Because once you've healed some of that shame or guilt that we've been just indoctrinated with, and we have been, it really helps you refine your appreciation of those simple pleasures in life, that simple connection, and the ordinary experiences. Because once you've, accepted those ordinary experiences and your appreciation of them, it's easier often to accept the extraordinary as well. So don't numb yourself by either blocking or saturating your experiences with overwhelming sensations or emotions. Find pleasure in the moment and be fully aware of it. So that means, if you're having time with your partner, turn the TV off, unplug the phone, focus on them. If you're going out to eat with someone on a date or something, turn your phone to mute and put it away. Don't have it out. Don't, limit those distractions. The second chakra is magnetized by the force of emotions. But it's also the energy that's halfway between the survival preoccupations of the first or the root chakra and the expressions of will in the third or solar plexus chakra. So it's right in between, of course. So ideas and visions, when dressed up in emotion, can come to life more easily. As such, the second chakra magnetizes experiences based on its state and the direction provided by the other chakras. So attraction or repulsion are very much linked to your sacral chakra. And in healing this chakra, it helps you to be just more mindful of your own thoughts and intentions, as well as being more aware of the emotions that might arise in specific situations. Like that uncomfortable feeling you might have in some movies, like, oh, this is just too corny, I can't take it anymore, so you have to get up and leave. I've done that. It's like that over-the-top romantic gesture just makes you feel uncomfortable. Well, that's your feeling, that's your lens, not necessarily the person who's done that romantic gesture. I see that in chat, some conversation about soulmates. I don't personally feel that anybody has one specific soulmate. I think you have a soulmate for different periods in life. And the ultimate one, or the exact right one, is the one that will grow with you as you go through your stages in life and the things you encounter and the things you do. But Mr. Right, that you met 10 years ago, or miswrite, I should say, either or, today, if you met them again, because they were on a different path or a different journey, may not be in the same place that you are today. So they may have been Mr. or Miss Right then, but they're absolutely not that person now. And likewise, if you meet someone today that fits that bill, they may not be that same person in 10 years. However, if you connect with them and you grow with them, then that's a totally different relationship. So when you can grow together, that is where you're having your stronger relationship. And yeah, it's hard. It is hard to find the right person. And often, sometimes you have to kiss a few frogs to find the right prince or princess, depending on what you're looking for. So yeah, and that's okay. Learn things as you go through that. Yeah, it's okay to be wary, but don't shut yourself down, because there are possibilities out there. Some questions to guide in your chakra healing or understanding your chakras, your sacral chakra. Ask yourself, what is attractive to you? What repels you? These are really good journal questions or journal entry ideas, if you will. And how does those things that attract you or repel you guide you in the way you live your life? Because there's some things I absolutely don't want anything to do with, and so I will consciously make the choice to not spend time or energy in those ways. How attractive do you feel? When you look in the mirror, do you like, it'll work for today? Or, oh my stars, what on earth was I thinking? This is not going to work. Or, yeah, I got it. Whatever that feeling is, how attractive do you feel? Are you confident about your self-image? Or do you doubt yourself often? I just went through my closet, and I have 2 rather large boxes of clothes that a friend of mine is going to come look through. And if she wants some, cool. If not, well, it's off to the thrift store with it, because I don't need those clothes. They don't fit my self-image anymore, because I'm not that person anymore. So allow yourself to grow. And if it's really simple, if there's clothing like that no longer fits your self-image, why do you have it? Some clothes, yes, you put on an outfit, you're like, woohoo, I'm confident and I can do this. And confidence is sexy. And you should embrace that. But if you put something on and you're like, no, this just doesn't look right, I don't know if I can wear this today, and you don't change, then you have that feeling throughout the entire day. It's like, this just isn't working for me. So be aware of your self-image and whether or not you doubt yourself. Do you feel ruled by your emotions? Or are you emotionally aware and conscious? Or do you just go through life by the seat of your pants and, let your emotions, rule you and push you wherever you might go? Or are you emotionally unaware? You're not sure quite what's going on. People are like that. They go through life, just kind of not aware of anything. Do you often indulge in life's little pleasures to the point where you've lost the balance? So instead of a quest for pleasure, you've now become obsessed with something. Or do you enjoy each experience through healthy moderation and self-discipline? Like, for instance, do you have a piece of chocolate? Or do you have the big giant bag of M&Ms? Finish off a pound of M&Ms in a sitting. Moderation is a big deal. I can buy a Hershey's candy bar and break it in little pieces and leave it in the fridge, and it'll last me a week, sometimes 2, because I just need that little bitty bit of chocolate to satisfy the craving for chocolate generally. And it's good. Now, there are times when, no, I just need a chocolate bar and back off. That's my chocolate bar. So, it's okay to embrace that once in a while, but it shouldn't be an ongoing thing. You shouldn't be always craving the bigger, better chocolate bar. We're going to our last break, and we will be right back, you guys. So, holy cow, tonight has just flown by. We'll see you in a few.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
This is iHeartRadio.
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 Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me, the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. And we are on our last section of the evening, talking about the Sacral Chakra. Yeah. We're just about wrapped up anyway, so yeah, it's been good. It's amazing how, to me, in learning more about the chakras in general, just how much of our health, our overall health, is really tied to our energetic health also. And yeah, it's been good for me. I hope it's been good for you guys. And I will include links to other chakra shows and the information I'm using. So, excuse me. Let's see. Yes, we were just talking about obsession. So yeah, be careful of obsession. If you cannot control yourself, and it's one thing, again, enjoy a little bit of chocolate, or do you have to eat a pound of it? Or can you have a little bitty serving of chocolate ice cream? Or do you have to have a big bowl of chocolate ice cream? Moderation. Moderation is good for you. Can you balance your passions and your personal discipline? And you know what? This is actually a big deal because a lot of people are very passionate about something. So think NASCAR, for instance. I'm just using this. Those who are very passionate about NASCAR or other sports are very, very passionate. Soccer fans. Very, very passionate when it comes to their teams and such. They're not a lot of personal discipline if they feel their team has been wronged or something has gone sideways there. Make sure you are using proper personal discipline, and not allowing that passion to become an obsession. There's a fine line there. Do you feel expressed in your passion for life? So the things that you do, are you expressing your passions, the things that you're excited about? So I'm excited about my show, doing this stuff and talking to you guys every Friday and Saturday night, or via email, or whatever. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's awesome. My job where I work, I talk about rocks and crystals and energetic healing and tarot and stuff like that all the time. I feel pretty passionate about it. I love it. And I feel like I can be very expressive in that passion. Or, some of my art stuff that I do, or like for Etsy, that I've got a few dream catchers I need to get listed up there. Whatever it is, I feel that passion. And you know what? I feel is very much an expression of me. My hair is blue and red. That's an expression of me. It's the real me. And not just the one that I was taught to put out there. Yeah, the me that was socially acceptable when I was growing up and such. So this is the real me. Do you feel alive most of the time, or does life feel kind of dull? This one's a big one. Because when you are not embracing your passions and embracing those things that give you joy and satisfaction, is life, does it feel fun and exciting, or is it like, nah, so what, bah humbug, And if you're feeling more of that bah humbug, it's time for you to have some energetic healing, because your sacral chakra is blocked up. And you've got a kink in your chakra, and you need to unkink it. Or, not in your chakra, you need to untie it. Whatever visual aid you need. Pardon my sinuses. You need to use it, seriously. So, maybe, the drain's clogged. There's an avalanche in the way. Whatever it is that's stopping you from feeling alive, most of the time, not all the time, I get it, most of the time. You need to be aware of what it is. If it's clutter in your house is keeping you from feeling alive, Declutter. Take things to the thrift store to rehome it, sell it to the dump, throw it away. You don't have to have the clutter. Don't be a hoarder because that's more of an obsession. I really like to have a good supply of office supplies. Do I need them? No. Do I hoard them? Yes. Do I allow anybody else to use my sticky notes? No, never. So, actually, no, I do allow the sticky notes to get used, but that's my point. I love office supplies. Do I need as many as I have? Nope. Do I buy them every chance I get? Yes. And I'm okay with that. As far as addictions go, that one's a pretty mild one. There are others that could be so much worse, but I know what it is, and I have fun with it, and other people have fun with it. So it's not, is it truly an addiction or is it an expression of self? I have a hard time walking away from a bead sale. Sometimes that's hard for me. See, just yes, I love beads. Because, and beats, two different things, but yes. Because mini-me likes to make jewelry. I got all sorts of stuff about that too. All over the place. So you just be aware. What is a hoarding? What is expression of self? What is obsession? What is passion? There are fine lines there. But you need to be aware of them. You really, really do. Let's see if there's anything else here about the sacral chakra. If your sacral chakra is overwhelmed, you may experience some non-physical symptoms or physical symptoms. Pain or warmth in your lower abdomen is often excessive energy. Just a little bit. And your reproductive organs and your bladder, lower back, if you're having an overactive chakra, cysts, urinary issues, kidney problems, yep, those are going to happen. And if your sacral chakra is overwhelmed, odds are feeling pretty good that you're going to feel just overwhelmed about everything else. You may feel like you're having those mood swings. You may seem like you thrive on conflict and drama. But most people, you think you do, but it's a survival thing. It's not truly living. And the excess of emotions, yep, those are bad for you. They give you some poor personal boundaries, and you may become overly dependent upon that conflict and drama because it feels like that's how you are truly alive. And I've noticed this in myself in the past. It's like, wow, I am always attracting the same type of person who wants to be my friend. I don't want that kind of drama in my life. I had to stop and think about it. It's like, what is it that I am doing that is attracting these people? Because you know what? You don't have to. You really, really don't. And if your sacral chakra is out of control, whether it's blocked or overactive, make sure you have a good diet. You're not eating a lot of junk. Make sure you know where your food is coming from and is it really good. I'm not big on organic. I prefer farm raised, mostly because I want it to be consciously raised, not just, I'm going to throw this stuff out here and I hope it grows and I'll just, do this for weeding or that for weeding. Just be aware. Because even growing organically, you can have a certain amount of chemicals in there. Maybe you didn't know that, but yep, that's a real thing. So, healthy diet, very important. If you have an overactive sacral chakra, instead of having more orange, maybe you need to add more blue, which is very calming. And, physical activity is good. Go for a walk, go for a hike, go for a swim, and eat the good food. Whether it's frog legs or chocolate or whatever it is. Y'all are weird. what is it that you need to do? Make sure you've got those healthy relationships going, or you're working towards them. Set your intention as what you're trying to get accomplished, and write it down in your journal. And what are you going to do? What steps are you going to take to achieve those things? Because, if there's a thing that you want to achieve, and you've written it down a little bit, or you've talked to a few people about it, you know what? It's a dream. That's all it is. But if you've written it down and you've got a plan on how to achieve it, and you've broken it down, like, say you want to buy a new car, and you want to have $5,000 down to save for that new car. It's like, all right, so I make X number of dollars every year. I want to buy a new car, so in order to get to $5,000 for my down payment, I have to save X, Y dollars for every month. Because you've plotted it out and you've planned it out, it's no longer a dream, it becomes a goal. So having that plan in place helps you identify the difference between dream and goal. It's a big deal. It is a very fine line, but a big, big deal. Very big deal. So yes. Make sure you have that plan in place and write it down in your journal. Write those positive self-affirmations on your mirror, your window, your TV, maybe not your TV, a sticky note to put on your monitor. I've got 2 monitors I'm looking at here. I don't actually have any sticky notes because I'm trying not to be distracted. But generally speaking, I end up with a lot of sticky notes everywhere. It's like, hey, don't forget this. You've got this due on that date. And this and that. And, oh, hey, don't forget to contact. And that's why I generally have sticky notes, as I talk to myself via sticky note. But it's great because once I've accomplished something on a sticky note, I can crumple it up and throw it away. It's like, woohoo! So, yes. Find out what it is that's going to help you make the right healthy relationship choices, the healthy food choices, the healthy physical activity choices, and the healthy behavioral choices. And walk away from or curb your unhealthy choices. Because that sacral chakra, if it's if it's got some issues, that's a big deal, and you need to just focus on it and cleanse it out. Meditate. Do that check-in with your different chakras. Start with your root chakra, the base of the spine, ground yourself, and then go to the sacral, which is just below your belly button. Then up to your solar plexus, which is your stomach area, and then to your heart, which is the center of your chest, to your throat chakra, to your third eye chakra, and then to your crown chakra. And visualize moving up the body and checking, is the energy flowing up your body correctly? Because if you're doing the grounding visualization that I've talked about in the past, where you visualize your roots like a tree going down into the earth, letting the negative energy out and soaking up the good earth energy. And I talk about, raising your arms up and letting them, pushing out the negative energy out your arms like branches in a tree out into the universe, and soaking up that positive universal energy. Rain on leaves, or sunlight on leaves in a tree, all that energy coming down. If your chakras are out of alignment, that energy flowing between your roots and your branches is not going to flow very well. And if it's not flowing very well, it's, you're going to have problems with your grounding practices. And so you may have some excess energy, especially if you're doing ritual work and your chakras aren't quite aligned. You may end up with excess energy, or maybe you didn't have enough energy for your ritual work. Take a deep cleansing breath. What is it that you need? If you need help, let me know. I will definitely do my very, very best. Remember, I am learning too. I'm not the pro from Dover yet. I'm working on it. I do have this really big book that I have stuff to write in now. And, as far as, the world around us right now, I'm so ready for 2020. This is basically, just before I go into that, this is basically all I have for the Sacral Chakra. So just kind of some general chat for the next couple minutes. Because yes, we'll talk, not quite sure what I'm going to talk about on Friday yet, but next Saturday we will talk about the solar plexus chakra, or the stomach area. So, yeah. Because, yes, I like this kind of education thing we're doing on the Saturdays. And it looks like, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more of these. That'll get us into October. We'll talk about Selwyn and Mabon probably here in a bit. I'll probably talk about Mabon on Friday. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. And then, I don't know, we'll see where we go from there. I'm trying to avoid politics here in the U.S., especially for the next, 8 weeks. Just because the political environment here in the U.S. is all over the place. So, when it comes to politics, your deep cleansing breath, let's try to keep it out of the chat room. It's very easy to talk about politics because, man, it's everywhere and in everything right now. Try not to feed the beast there when it comes to politics. Woohoo! Yeah. It's just nuts. Let's see. There's something else I was going to say, and I just totally lost it. This is what happens when I don't write things down. It's just vexing. Just vexing. Oh. Do your rain dance. The next couple days is the west coast of the U.S. could definitely, desperately use some rain. No wind, no lightning, no thunder. Just a good soaking rain to get those fires calmed down, and get some of that smoke just, settled out of the air. And if you do collect ash, for instance, it's very representative of the lives lost, whether it's animal life or plant life, that, is just out there that has been burnt, and, honor it. Just honor it. Let's see. Clarity, no worries about forgetting to ask questions about the chakras. We'll talk about chakras again next weekend. So if you have questions, we can always come back, circle back to the ones we've already talked about, or we can move forward and talk about other things. So you're just fine. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. And yeah, I know chat can be kind of all over the place. I get it. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Yeah, do your rain dance. Think some positive thoughts, some healing thoughts to our society right now. Just, there's some stuff out there that we're dealing with. I know, like, here locally we have a big soccer meet. It's a really important soccer meet. Here, at least on the West Coast leagues. And they had to call some of the matches just due to the poor air quality because of all the smoke in the air, which is quite frustrating. Because it smells. It smells like the fire is really, really close, but no, it's not. It's a couple hundred miles away, and not an issue here locally. The little fires that we had did get put out and taken care of. So, blessings on those that are, the firemen that are out there working, the emergency crews out there working, the first responders, the power company folks that are out there working, just doing their best to keep things going. Because it is a mess. And it's just, it's a mess. So I hope they are safe. And you know what? Check in on your neighbors. If you are in one of those hotspot areas, or I know there's another hurricane running towards Florida right now. Don't be afraid to knock on your neighbor's door and make sure everything's okay. and see if there's anything that is needed or any way you can help. And if nothing else, sometimes it's important to just connect and let your neighbor know that, you know, someone's checking on them, because that gives a sense of security to know that someone else is there going through the same thing that you are, because hey, you're neighbors, and is checking on you too. I may, Carlton, if you could send me an email with the links about water, that would be great, and I'll talk about it a little bit next Friday, because I think that's important. There's some people assume that distilled water is the best thing to use when it comes to, you know, rituals and such, and not necessarily, because it's kind of dead. It doesn't have an energetic property to it. So, you know, in some respects, that would be the right thing to do, is have the distilled water. But in some respects, no. Bomber, yes, kimchi can have chunks in it. It depends on who's making it, and that kind of thing. I often have onion or ginger or garlic or larger cabbage pieces that are chunks. So sometimes the peppers can be kind of clumped up, so it varies. It depends on the style and who made it. And kombucha. You may actually have part of the kombucha. If you swallowed it, that's fine. It's not bad for you. Kombucha and kimchi are so very, very different, my dear. Kombucha's okay. Yes, you can intake the kombucha fungus that's growing in your tea. The SCOBY. Yes, that's what it's called. So, let's see. Finishing out the year, not quite sure what we're going to talk about throughout the rest of the year. We got some holidays coming up that I wanted to talk about because those are important. And then the colors of the seasons. Let's see. I will be on a Pagan talk in October, and I am trying to work on some children's books for the for paganism, because you know there's quite a few. There's books out there, yes, but you know the information's not always solid, and it's kind of all over the place. And so, you know, looking at Mini-Me and trying, you know, she's a beginning reader, you know, what could I provide for her that is interesting from a perspective of a pagan mom, pagan parenting, that helps teach some of those foundation bits of paganism without being, you know, overly indoctrinating or overly technical in detail. So that is on my to-do plate, and I definitely want to get the first one published probably in October. I gotta start somewhere, guys, and October's coming right up. Holy cow. Cannot believe the way this year is flying by so slowly, if that makes any sense. Because yes, it has been just, what a year. I'm so ready for it to be done. I don't want to miss out on my fall, but I'm ready for 2020 to be done. So, yeah, ready for 2020 to be done. I'm going to toast 2021 in a real way, because, yeah, it's been a interesting year. I think we've learned a lot about ourselves as a society that maybe we were not anticipating. Just because, yeah, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. Let's see. I just lost all my background noise, so I hope everything's still good. That was bizarre. Oh, love technology. So, it is the end of the hour, so I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And, stay safe, take care of one another. Journal what you want to accomplish in the next, for the rest of the year. What is it? And then, how are you going to achieve those things? Straight up, how are you going to do it? So merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. And I hope you guys have a fantastic time. Send me an email, wildpaisley@gmail.com. We'll talk to you next weekend.
Lord, within the sun, we will so much see this hell forever.